Well, it's Grandpa here again, trying to recycle an appliance. The Tasvac vacuum cleaner, cordless, is a wonderful little tool for cleaning your house, but the battery is not replaceable, and I guess they expect you to throw away the whole unit when the battery dies. Seems like a shame to me. So I got busy. I've done these before. Used to have an 18-volt Black & Decker drill with the nickel cadmium 1.2 volt cells. Didn't work too well, but I've adapted it for 24 volt lithium cells, and there's several videos online that I've done before. Basically it involves creating a new plate here to take the plus and minus off of the handy dandy Kobalt 24 volt battery pack that you can get at Lowe's for about $49, or you can get them off the internet generic for about half of that. This one's 3 ampere hours and they fit just fine. There's the plus and the minus. So here's the Tasvac battery pack, which has failed. There's 6 cells. There's room for 8, but they only put 6 in there, and 2 of these are bad. So there's the vacuum cleaner unit itself, and it's got all these extra cables. Who knows what they do? Probably switches to control the on-off function, perhaps the charging smart battery. But the 2 that you need are the big ones. These are the power leads, and if you get those hooked up to 24 volts, the thing will run just fine. So we're going to poke these guys down in the handle and never deal with them again. But we have to figure out how to mount the battery pack on there. And I've done some of this before. Shouldn't be too hard. Basically what my plan is to take the cover, which I've already removed here, and slice it up, slice and dice to where the battery pack will fit on there, and it'll work. So bear with me, I'm not much of a videographer. So there's the first cut with the hacksaw into the battery pack holder, and I'll show you the next cuts as I figure them out. There's the next 2 cuts. You can see working at the kitchen sink. They're a little crooked, but I didn't make a jig. I'm just holding it in one hand and sawing with the other. And I don't have the third hand for the camera. Please forgive me. Finishing up these cuts requires a freelance blade to get in there, and then we'll remove this little flap to make room for the battery. Interesting way to cut plastic. I got it bent a little bit and scored on the back side with a knife, and as I bend it, you can see it creates this colored deformity on the back, and that's where I want to score on the other side before I break it. Okay, just snapped it loose there, and you can see this is where the battery is going to slide in. I've got to modify the sides to accept the prongs that will hold it in. There's a couple of little prongs here on the side, see there, that will hold it in, and you manipulate that to get it in and out like so. That holds the battery pack in place. Now I've got the slots widened a little bit to accept the battery. It's still a little bit on the small side, so I'm going to have to enlarge it a little bit to get the battery in there. Better to be a little too small than too big, though. Okay, I've now got it large enough to get the battery in the groove. I'll make it just a little bit bigger, and then I got to work on the mounting plate. And the mounting plate will be using the little black plate here with the 2 electrodes. I'll take that out of the existing NiCad pack, which is no good anymore, and we'll move that metal piece over, spread them a little further apart to match the new lithium pack. Now we have 4 more little slots here, one in each corner and one up here for the tabs to hold the battery in place. Turns out the battery pack is a little too long, and so I'm going to I cut another slot right here. I'm going to bend that down using heat to give it a little bit more room for the battery. You see how that's curved? I'm going to flatten that curve out. So there it is. I warmed it up and pressed on it a little bit with my needle nose pliers right here in the middle and bent it down. Now you see the thing holds together just fine. The little locking tabs slide into the slot. The bent part is not in the way anymore. And there's your 2 plus and minus that you're going to have to put a plate on to connect the voltage. So now we're ready to take the little screws out here and get the battery plate out. So we got the 6 little screws and the spring out, and the cover is off. And there's the guts of the battery with the contacts and the failed NiCads. We've got to cut this loose and reconfigure it. Now I've disassembled the battery pack, the NiCads. There's 15 of them. That makes 18 volts in series. Here's the battery contactors, and I'm going to move this one from the middle slot to the outside slot, and that's where it needs to be to meet up with the lithium contacts. Let's now compare the new battery hookup with the one that's already been modified for the drill, and you'll see that these slots in the middle, the hard plastic, have to be removed. So these guys right here, these 2 plastic ones, have to be removed to make room for the battery to slide in there. That's the next little thing. And here's how you cut them loose with your freelance hacksaw blade. Just cut them from one side and then the other. That part's done. There's the 2 little tabs that I've broken off with my needle nose pliers after cutting through one side. Then you have to cut off this little pillar right at the edge to make a little bit more room. There's the part that came off, and that's what it looks like now. Now it fits in there nicely. You see the negative sign here. So the white wire is going to be negative. This is going to be positive. The metal strip is going to be positive. Be careful of that metal strip. It is sharp. It will cut you. I think we'll have to fold it over to make it fit through the vacuum cleaner contacts. And to finish it up, I'm going to glue the plate into the gizmo using the clear Gorilla Glue, which is my new favorite go-to adhesive. It stays in place long enough to get solid after about a minute. Just drip a little bit in there and glue the plate down, and you'll be done with the project. I'm not going to put a switch on it. I guess I could. I will show you that it works though. I've got the negative lead hooked up to the black wire of the vacuum, and I've got the red wire of the vacuum hooked up with this clip lead, and we'll just stick it on there and you can hear the motor go around. A little spark there as it fires up. Happy modifications!